Welcome back. I'm Christine and I'm a brand strategist, and today I'm going to talk about now that the FTC and all the regulatory bodies have approved the acquisition of Microsoft with Activision Blizzard, what it would mean from a brand perspective. I'll be talking about it from several angles. The first is the brand strategy, second, brand architecture, and lastly, what it means for brand value. Of course, a success of an acquisition isn't just about the brand. There's many other factors. There's organization management, financials, technology integration, but I'm not an expert in all those areas, and I really like brands. So these are the things that would mean the detriment or the success of this acquisition from a brand perspective. So firstly, what a brand strategy is kind of like the roadmap or the guiding principles of where this brand is today and how it would progress for the future. The brand strategy is informed by the business strategy, but for the brand strategy, it is not only for internal business leaders, it is also for employees, it is for the external stakeholders too, like customers, investors, and shareholders. So what a brand strategy consists of, there's different frameworks and ways of describing it, but on a high level, there is always this idea of a big picture and kind of a stop along the way of how you would be able to reach that larger picture. So think of a brand like a person. What is it that you're meant to do in this world? So for a brand, some call it the brand vision, some call it the brand purpose, brand promise, brand mission. Different ways of putting a tag to it, but essentially it is that guiding principle. If you're navigating life, that direction that you are going on, it is that North Star. It is where our eye is. We will go there, guiding the brand and all of its products, activities towards that big picture, long-term goal. We also have a short-term goal. What is it that the brand wants to accomplish in 5 years and 3 years? And in reaching that short-term goal, only then will they be able to reach that larger goal. Looking at the Activision Blizzard and Microsoft brand strategies. Microsoft captures its brand strategy as, our mission is to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. And Activision Blizzard captures it as, we connect and engage the world through epic entertainment. So we do see that they're focusing on different things. Activision Blizzard focuses very heavily on human engagement, interactions, entertainment, and Microsoft focuses very heavily on empowerment, inclusivity, talking about every person and every organization, and also achievement and to achieve more. On a larger scale, it's focusing on different things, but it all talks about the big picture. For Activision Blizzard, it's talking about the world, and Microsoft is talking about the planet. So even though different terms, but it's all about that larger picture. There is that connectivity there. In looking at it a little bit more closely, what I would argue is the Activision Blizzard mission ladders up to the Microsoft one, because in order for every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more, you need mental and physical well-being, and that is what Activision Blizzard brings. It's that entertainment so that you'll be able to connect and interact. All humans are in this world to build relations. I don't think anyone can argue with that. Without relationships, without connecting with one another, you'll feel miserable. So you need to have that foundationally to tick off first before you're able to achieve more. So what I think is that it does fit because Microsoft is acquiring Activision Blizzard. So it's kind of just like ladders up to it. So strategically, it fits. What a brand architecture is, it's how the brand is presented externally. Similarly to how a company internally has their organizational structure, externally the brand architecture is how customers and people that don't work within this company see how the brand is organized. And it is that guiding post and how each relate to each other or ladder up to each other. But why is it important? It is because without a clear structure or a clear architecture for customers to navigate while they're going through the purchase journey of understanding what products, what offerings, what services this brand or company offers, they will get lost along the way. And what that would mean is lost revenue. So we don't like that. We want clear brand architecture. What the brand architecture for Microsoft is today, I would characterize it as a largely monolithic brand, even though it's very much of a hybrid brand. So we do see that there's very strong brands that the Microsoft family has. For example, Microsoft Office, Microsoft 365. There's also Microsoft Windows. You could argue some of these brands, it is like ingredient brands, component brands, or sub-brands. Yeah, you could argue different name tags with it, but it parries on the Microsoft name. But there's also independent brands that Microsoft has, for example, Xbox, LinkedIn, that aren't really tied to the Microsoft brand directly, even though most are aware that these are products that the Microsoft company owns. Then looking at Activision Blizzard, first, the logo really stood out to me. I was searching for an updated logo for a long time because I was like, this can't be it. This looks like I could create this with Microsoft PowerPoint or something, just putting the two brands side by side and then putting a line between it. It's like a migration strategy thing. Like, you might see Activision Blizzard separately before, but we're bringing it together. And it seems like they never really got to it. They merged the companies and then they were like, oh, we're going to develop new products, we're going to launch new games, and just forgot about it. What I suspect is that there's more equity that lies in the product brands and the games itself. And Microsoft already has Xbox as its flagship gaming brand. So Activision Blizzard versus Xbox, I think Xbox would win, and that the Activision Blizzard products will just ladder up and just migrate it underneath Xbox portfolios. So lastly, brand value. What is brand value? And similar to normal values that we have in life, it could be an asset or a liability. So it could be a positive value associated with a brand or a negative, depending on what the associations are. It captures aspects of brand recognition, brand association, and customer loyalty. So looking at Activision Blizzard and Microsoft brand value, we want to make sure that the sum is greater than the parts. Activision Blizzard, we know it's not going to be of as much value as Microsoft because Microsoft is the second best brand in the world. It's billions of dollars of brand equity, while Activision Blizzard, what I suspect, as I kind of hinted at before, the product brands probably have more equity and more value associated with it. Of course, there would have to be a brand valuation or customer research that validates that, but that's what I think. But just because the Activision Blizzard brand value does not match up to Microsoft, it doesn't give us an answer of how they should manage the brand moving forward, if they should or shouldn't continue to invest in this brand in the future. And that's where the brand value kind of comes in of Activision Blizzard, because to manage the brand, you'll have your own marketing team, you'll have your own personnel associated with it, you'll have to have additional investments into building and maintaining a brand. And if that value that comes from Activision Blizzard does not match up to the investments that is required to maintain the brand, then Microsoft will probably retire it. But even with when it retires it, it probably will not and definitely should not stop the trademark investments into the Activision Blizzard name and all of its global markets that it has. Because if they stop buying the trademark, then theoretically anyone, me, you, we could go to the US trademarks office and tell them that I want to buy this trademark for Activision Blizzard. We could just establish a new gaming company in that name. What that would do is that it will create so much confusion with the market of, wait, so is this new company Activision Blizzard the one that we know of before? And if it is also a gaming company, that would create so much confusion, so much trouble for Microsoft. I don't know, keep an eye out. I don't think they'll do this because Microsoft has big name lawyers, but if they ever mess up and lose that trademark, we're gonna stash it up. So yeah, all in all, that's from a brand perspective, the things that I would look at and the things that I think are going to happen in the following months following the acquisition. Of course, the success of the acquisition won't just come from a brand, but without managing its brand correctly, it would not be a success. So yeah, that's all for today. That's all I wanted to say. If there's any other questions, let me know down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.